Okay, I'd like to call to order the regular council meeting of November 8th, 2021. Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell.
Here.
Mr. Sensi.
Here.
Mr. Council Magno.
Here.
Ms. Gibbons.
Here.
Mr. Hannon.
Sorta here.
Mr. Harrison. Mr. McLean.
Here.
Mr. Mowry.
Here.
Mr. O'Brien.
Present.
We have 8 members present. At this time, can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, before we get to the chair announcements, there was a agenda published, I believe on Friday. Item F under General Policy and Finance, donation of property has been taken off the agenda, and it will be on our hopefully December agenda. So that's one change for the people that may have looked at the agenda earlier. Under chair announcements, executive session of council was held on Monday, October 25th, 2021 to discuss property acquisition in personnel matters. At this time, can we turn to the reports of the officials and the library director's report?
Good evening. My name is Christine. I'm the director of York Public Library, where we provide opportunities to explore, learn, create, and connect. The library board meeting on November 4th, the board approved the 2022 through 2024 strategic plan. That includes the diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives of the elimination of late fees, or what we would call fines, for all patrons with Bethel Park as their home library. We joined 17 other libraries across the Allegheny County in eliminating fines. Also, the library will go library card free for PC use. This will be effective January 1st, 2022, as we work towards our goal of reducing barriers to services for patrons. The approved strategic plan will be available on our website shortly. The library board also approved the 2022 library budget, which has flat funding from the state for 12 consecutive years, but we did receive a 5% increase from the Allegheny Regional Asset District and 3% from the municipality. The library will be closing at 5 p.m. on Wednesday, November 24th. It will be closed on Thursday, November 25th for the Thanksgiving holiday, but we'll reopen on Friday at 10 a.m. And that is all I have this evening.
Thank you very much. Are any questions? Hearing none, can we turn to the police chief's report and Chief O'Connor?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council, hi everybody, Chief here. We had our first crime watch in about a year and a half. It was well attended. Everybody got updates on our major cases for probably the last year and a half. We also want to see everybody again in December. We'll go back to the traditional format. But it was just good seeing everybody in person again for trying to get back to normalcy. We have Veterans Day coming up. On behalf of the Bethel Park Police Department, I want to thank all our veterans for their service. Our mayor, our manager served, thank you, and everybody else, thank you for your service. And finally, I want to wish everybody a happy and safe Thanksgiving. Ciao.
Any questions? Hearing none, can we turn to the fire chief's report? It's a tough act to follow.
Chief O'Connor is always tough to follow. I'm Russ Beast, I'm the Deputy Fire Chief with your fire department. I'm here to give you the October Fire Chief report. We had a total of 46 calls for the month of October. There was 1 structure fire, 1 vehicle fire, 1 vehicle extrication, 6 gas leaks, 1 power line down, 4 electrical issues, 1 water line break, 1 assist the police, 1 standby, 9 good intent, 1 smoke investigation, 17 fire alarm activations, and only 2 CO alarms. With that said, today we heard the announcement that Bruce Trejo, who is the state fire commissioner, has retired. Tom Cook, who is a local, not to Bethel, but the South Hills area, is now the acting state fire commissioner. As we know, we just changed our clocks back. When we change our clocks back, it's always important to change your smoke detector and CO alarm batteries. It's always good to get in the habit. Anytime you change the clocks forward or back, change your batteries. Even if you don't think they need them, change them. Trust me, that it saves a lot of aggravation. Thanksgiving is the peak day for home cooking fires, followed only by Christmas. Make sure your smoke alarms are in working order. Test them by pushing the test button on them. Stay in the kitchen when you're cooking, on the stovetop so you can keep an eye on your food. Stay in the home when cooking your turkey and make sure you check it frequently. Keep children away from the stove. The stove will be hot and kids should stay at least 3 feet away. Make sure kids stay away from hot food and liquids. The steam or splash from vegetables, gravy, or coffee could cause serious burns. Be sure that your electrical cords from an electric knife, coffee maker, plate warmer, or mixer are not dangling off the counter within easy reach of a child or a dog, because dogs will pull them off the counter. Keep matches and utility lighters out of the reach of children, up high in the locked cabinet. Never leave children alone in a room with a lit candle. And obviously keep your floor clear so you don't trip over kids' toys, pocketbooks, bags, anything like that in the event that you need to evacuate. That's all I have.
Any questions? Thank you very much. If we can now turn to the municipal manager's report, Mr. Christian.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A couple things I'd like to do. First and foremost, I'd like to introduce new employees. So first and foremost, I'm going to go ahead and bring one of our newest members of the staff. Come on up here, KP. So for those of you who don't know, her name is officially Kirsten Prim, and she goes by KP. She is our new grant writer and redevelopment coordinator. That's a big, big job because it didn't exist not too long ago. But KP brings a lot of experience, a wealth of knowledge, and we have hired her from a local firm up in the North Hills, which will remain nameless. But what she has brought already to the fight, just in her short 2 weeks here, already applying for multiple grants, volunteering, planting trees, and reestablishing a redevelopment coordinator position or authority checklist as we move forward. So I'll turn it over to KP for a couple things that are just about you and only you know about.
So like Lauren said, I am the new redevelopment coordinator, grant writer. I'm super excited to be here. I have a bunch of experience that I'm just so excited to sprinkle around Bethel Park. And I'm so excited to meet all of you and bring those projects to life.
I'd like to thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining the team. We look for great things. Thanks so much. So I usually do not change whatever the chief of police has said, but I need to add one small thing, that there's another veteran amongst us, an individual who served with the 25th Infantry Division, Tropic Lightning, and has served honorably in multiple positions, to include, after being a veteran, all in and around the city of Pittsburgh, and that is our very own Chief Timothy O'Connor. Thank you for your service. A couple things I want to talk about real quick. Parks. What a month it's been for our parks. Big one. Since the last regular council meeting, we've completed the installation of a new playground equipment in Birch Tree Park and Oak Tree Park. Oak Tree Park's shade structure is scheduled to be delivered in early December. With almost complete, the installation of the playground equipment at Millennium Park will begin shortly, and we hope to have that complete before the end of the year so we can start reusing it. My kiddos are looking forward to it, let me tell you. Big thanks for the Halloween parade. On October 30th, we held the second annual Halloween parade. Despite the many calls for rain, the weather held, and we were able to do a very successful parade. Each time we run an event like this, we like to review one went well, one went not so well, so we can make next year's parade even better. If you haven't heard recently, Bethel Park was recently named as one of the best cities in America by Wallet Hub. Bethel Park was tied for 16th place, making it the second highest ranked city in Pennsylvania. Affordability, economic health, education, and quality of life are all factors taken into consideration by Wallet Hub in making this determination. So hats off to Bethel Park. Farmers Market. At the beginning of October, the Pittsburgh City Paper announced that Bethel Park was voted the #2 farmers market in Pittsburgh in their best farmers market competition. This marks a move up in the contest results from last year when our market was voted #3. This year also saw our award-winning farmers market break into the Observer Reporter Best of the Best competition with a top 3 finish. Kudos to our market coordinator, Miranda Wayne, and our community center director, Kathy Moscato. Great job to both. They really did a phenomenal job. Bethel Park Television received 3 awards during the 5th annual Greater Pittsburgh Community and Media Awards. The winners were included Amy Taylor, Community Program category, Mayor Jack Allen, Program Series category, and Andy Amrine, Arts and Entertainment category. Our very own Bethel Park Television director, Dave Cable, single-handedly has produced over 7,000 shows and has mentored numerous individuals during his tenure with Bethel Park Television. We are so proud of Dave Cable, and Mayor Allen will talk about him a little later as he just bestowed an amazing award on Dave. So Dave, keep up the great work. We look for great things to continue, but thank you for what you do each and every day. Thank you.
Any questions? Hearing none, can we turn to Mayor Allen and the mayor's report?
Thank you. Well, I didn't realize there was a Steeler game tonight, so you may be at home by halftime. Okay, this is always one of the fun 2 times of the year that we get to make presentations. And tonight I'm here to announce the 2021 Halloween Decorating Contest award winners. And what I'll do is I'll read one, and then we'll fill them in by award. So this is a certificate of award presented this 8th day of November, 2021 by the municipality of Bethel Park to a certain family and house. In acknowledgement of the outstanding 2021 display of Halloween decorations at your residence located, you are hereby presented the Mayor's Award of Excellence. This recognition herein given to your home signifies that your Halloween decorations were judged the best in your ward. Bethel Park appreciates your efforts to enhance our community's image at this special time of year. And it's signed by myself. So the Ward 1 winner, and I don't believe they're here, but that is the Henson residence. And that's at 1073 Sarah Street. Ward 2 winner is actually, we started this 3 years ago, so this is their 3rd year winning this award. So if you want to try to unseat them, we'll see what happens next year. But that's the Valella residence, and that's at 5900 King School Road, 3-year winner. Ward 3 winner is here, Ginsky residence at 366 Middlegate Drive. Come on up. So these are all the workers too, right? All right. Well, congratulations on the award. If you can tell us a little bit about it. When the program will be recorded, they'll be able to see a picture of your house. So people will be able to see it, not tonight, but starting tomorrow. So congratulations. Just tell us what you did, what made you decorate your house the way you did.
We've been decorating for quite a long time, but each year just gets progressively better. She's done most of the work for it, and a lot of our stuff is homemade. We've had a lot of help from our neighbors too, making homemade decorations, and it's just really nice to see trick-or-treaters and everyone come by and just have so much excitement to see what we've done. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, thank you for all your hard work, and we look forward to seeing you next year. Thank you. Thank you. Ward 4, the Barry residence, did they make it? Yep. Oh, okay. Come on up. That was a maybe, so. All right, congratulations. If you can tell us a little bit about your house.
So, yeah, we've been doing this for quite a while, but yeah, our house, we put up a giant skeleton this year. We added a gargantuan spider. It's fun. It's great to see the community's reaction, see all the kids happy, and get the scares out. So it's been fun. Thank you very much.
And that was at 494 N Street. Ward 4 also had an honorable mention, and that was the Anstey residence at 7088 Lawrence Drive. Ward 5 winner, the Evan residence at 4319 Anna Street. Come on up. Did your parents help you? Congratulations. If you could tell us a little bit about what you did.
This year she got me to go up on the roof and do Halloween high school lights. So that was the first thing. So I'll be going back again for Christmas. But basically the kids are into Nightmare, so it's a lot of Nightmare Before Christmas theming, and we just like to do it for them. So thank you.
And I don't think I mentioned the address. Oh yeah, I did. Okay, Anna Street. Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you next year. Ward 6 winner is the Conahan residence, and that's also a 3-year award. So I think everyone knows your house, but tell us a little bit about it.
I've been decorating for 34 years, been in Bethel Park for 57, so getting to that halfway point, or something like that. So this year I built the boat that they use on the river Styx. That was one big thing. Thank you for the free pallets to the Home Ice Company. That's where I got all that wood. We built a 13-foot pumpkin monster with 3 heads, and you might have seen it. But thank you very much. And we raised $400 for Michael J. Fox Foundation and the Alzheimer's Foundation. And we kicked in a little bit more, and we sent $250 to each of those today, so there we are.
Thank you for your hard work. And that was at 5798 Wilson Drive. Ward 7 winner, the Thomas residence. And that's at 3373 Crestview. Thank you very much. A little bit about your display.
Absolutely. We're the house that got a little crazy with all the inflatables. We have a corner yard, so we have to do the front and the side, and every year we end up with a new one, whether we want to or not. Somehow we end up getting one more. This is my little helper. I used to have the excuse that I did it for my boys. We have 5 sons. This is the youngest one. They're all bigger than me now, so now I get to admit I do it because I like it.
Do you do it because they want you to do it? No, okay, just checking. Thank you very much. Okay, Ward number 8 is the Peck residence at 174 Meadowbrook Drive. Not here, okay. And Ward number 9 winner is the Saunders residence at 144 Iron Run Road. Okay. Well, I want to thank all the people that decorated this year. It was beautiful out there, and I look forward to seeing you next year. But having said that, it's time for our Christmas lighting contest. So I just want to mention that December 1st is our light up night at the community center. We're going to have it indoors. We'll also have a tree outdoors, and that's 6:45. We'll also have our gingerbread contest that we do every year. And I just want to mention that it is indoor and outdoor. If you're coming indoor, you'll have to wear a mask. We'll have the Bethel Park High School band there. The top 21 will be there, and a chorus from IMS. So we'll look forward to seeing you and Santa Claus, of course. Get everyone in the spirit for Christmas. The next person I wanted to bring up is Pam Tiano. Oh, she's coming up? Okay. Well, you need to come up too, because I always see you. They invited me last year. They were having a little get-together at the Schoolhouse Arts, and they're with the Interact group, so I just wanted to let the people know in Bethel Park exactly what they do and the involvement that you have.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mayor. My name is Pam Tiano. I am a Rotarian with the Upper St. Clair Bethel Park Rotary Breakfast Club. And along with another club, the Bethel Park Lunch Club, we sponsor the Bethel Park Interact Club. And I have with us tonight our club secretary, and she wanted to talk a little bit about what we have going on. So let me introduce Abigail.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for letting me come here tonight. My name is Abigail Goldenberg, and I am the secretary of the Bethel Park Interact Club and serve on the District Board of Directors, which oversees 52 clubs throughout Western Pennsylvania. I'm here to talk to you about our club and how we serve Bethel Park, and to see if there are any opportunities for us in the municipality to work together. I would like to pass out a few brochures that provides you with information about our club and includes contact information for the faculty and Rotarian advisors. Interact is an international organization that is sponsored by the Rotary and is based on community service. Bethel Park Interact Club is sponsored by two Bethel Park groups, the Upper St. Clair Bethel Park Rotary Breakfast and the Bethel Park Rotary Lunch Clubs. Since our first meeting in November 2020, we had 12 members to now over 150. Even though we had obstacles of being a new club in 2020, we managed to do a lot of different things in our community. We participated in bell ringing for the Salvation Army during the holidays. We created a pen pal program with residents of local long-term care facilities and worked with a local charity, Smiles from Sean, and the school district to raise over $7,000 for Children's Hospital. Our most recent fundraiser, we sold chocolate-covered pretzels, which the money raised will be used to purchase gifts for families in need through Adopt a Family South Hills. We are also collecting blank holiday cards to fill out and give to veterans. We have many more projects and fundraisers coming soon, and I would be excited to keep the council informed. I appreciate your time and hope that we can work together to keep Bethel Park an amazing community. For more information, feel free to contact anyone on your brochure. Thank you.
How many members do you have in your local club here?
About 150.
150 members. Terrific. And how would they get a hold of you if they're interested in joining?
You can talk to faculty advisors.
At the high school? Yeah. Okay.
Our contact information is on the back of the brochures. We also have a Facebook page, which we keep regularly updated with all the things. Sorry. We also have a Facebook page where you can follow us and you can see all the things that we're doing in and around the community. Like Abigail said, we started with 12 members last November, and we have over 150. And these kids are they're so awesome. And this club is open to any student in IMS or the high school. And we meet the first and third Wednesday of each month in the high school cafeteria. So, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Pam. Well, I actually had two more items. Mark stole my thunder on the one, but happy birthday, Dr. Campbell.
I circumnavigated our most proximate star one more time.
Is Mark going to sing happy birthday for him?
No, there's a Steeler game tonight.
We'll save it for next year.
I'll prescribe the Zofran, the nausea medicine.
And as Lawrence mentioned before the meeting started, I presented an award to Dave Cable on his tremendous, in fact, I think he left, but on his tremendous ability to get BPTV where it is now. He's produced over 7,000 shows, and he's been doing this at this building for the last 22 years. So he got an achievement award tonight, and he does a great job. And he's looking for volunteers. He's looking for new ideas for shows. Please contact him.
Craziest thing.
Oh. This is your life. Dave?
Now we can get you
Give me my surprise. I knew something was up.
Well, I
but
figured you did.
I didn't know exactly what.
So what we're doing, or what I'm doing, is we have an award for you. It's the Mayoral Recognition Award. So I'll let you hold it, but I was explaining, since I can't see the lettering here.
That's about a far to hold it too.
Well, it has to be against something black, so.
All right.
But anyhow, I'll read what it says. It's presented to Dave Cable, Director of BPTV, for over 22 years of outstanding leadership at BPTV, producing over 7,000 shows benefiting the people in Bethel Park and beyond, and mentoring, training countless volunteers. Your integrity, creativity, and incredible skill level have taken BP to the award-winning station that it is today. So it's long overdue.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you very much.
Hey guys, did you know about this?
Not till you.
I said he's out of the house, we can go.
All right.
Hey, like my kids, we don't tell them until we're in the car. So
Yeah,
my
right.
kids
Oh.
spill the beans.
Yeah, you'd spill the beans.
Yeah, my youngest
Like I
were
said,
too.
Well, thank you very much.
Yep, absolutely.
Much appreciated.
And that's my report.
Thank you very much, Mayor. At this time, I would like to turn to the approval of the minutes and Mr. McLean.
This is for the approval of the October 11, 2021 regular council meeting minutes. I move that we approve the minutes from the October 11, 2021 regular council meeting.
Second.
The motion by Mr. McLean, second by Ms. Gibbons, that we approve the minutes of the October 11th, 2021 regular council meeting. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell.
Yes.
Mr. Cincy.
Yes.
Mr. Council Magno.
Yes.
Ms. Gibbons.
Yes.
Mr. Hannon.
Yes.
Mr. McLean.
Yes.
Mr. Mowry.
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Mr. McLean.
Next is October 25th, 2021 public hearing minutes. I move that we approve the minutes from the October 25th, 2021 public hearing.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. McLean, second by Ms. Gibbons, that we approve the minutes from the October 25th, 2021 public hearing. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell.
Yes.
Mr. Cincy.
Yes.
Mr. Council Magno.
Yes.
Ms. Gibbons.
Yes.
Mr. Hannon.
Yes.
Mr. McLean.
Yes.
Mr. Mowry.
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. At this time, I'd like to turn to the approval of the bills and payrolls, and Mr. McLean.
I move that we approve bill list 110821 in the amount of $3,901,669.19.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. McLean, second by Ms. Gibbons, that we approve bill list number 110821 in the amount of $3,901,669.19. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell.
Yes.
Mr. Cincy.
Yes.
Mr. Council Magno.
Yes.
Ms. Gibbons.
Yes.
Mr. Hannon.
Yes.
Mr. McLean.
Yes.
Mr. Mowry.
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. At this time, I'd like to turn to the resident comments section for non-agenda items. If you can state your name and address for the record, and you have a 3-minute limit.
Thank you. My name is Jay Wells, 2510 Applegate. I'm secretary of the Bethel Park Lions Club, which is the largest service club in the world. And 2 of our members, very busy members, have reached milestones in their membership. It's not easy to give them these awards at meetings. A lot of the work that they do is outside the meetings, and it sometimes goes unnoticed, but it's graciously appreciated. So I'm glad to present Councilman Jim Hanna with a 20-year membership chevron, and also Council President Tim Mowry with a 20-year chevron membership. And Jim, I see you online. You can't shove this through the board there, but I'm sure we'll get it to you somehow. So congratulations both.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Are there any other residents who would like to speak? Hearing none, can we turn to general policy and finance? And Mr. McLean, I didn't skip you tonight.
That's good. First item under general policy and finance is the 2022 strategic plan. I move that we approve the adoption of the 2022 strategic plan per the municipal manager's memorandum dated November 3rd, 2021.
Second.
A motion by Mr. McLean, second by Ms. Gibbons, that we approve the adoption of the 2022 strategic plan per the municipal manager's memorandum dated November 3rd, 2021. Any discussion of this item? Just for everybody's information, we actually started this last year. We passed in June, I believe, the 2021. From here on out, this plan will be done in conjunction with the budget. It's really a summary of the things we're doing in Bethel Park and a recap of some of the things we did in the past year. So it's part of the budget. I believe it will be online and available at the library. But if you have a chance, check it out. It actually gives a lot of good information. So thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, Mr. McLean, would you please call the roll? Excuse me, Mr.
Dr. Campbell.
Yes.
Mr. Sensi.
Yes.
Mr. Council Magnum.
Yes.
Ms. Gibbons.
Yes.
Mr. Hannon.
Yes.
Mr. McLean.
Yes.
Mr. Mowry.
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Mr. McLean.
Second item is the ordinance for the 2022 tax rate. I move that we approve ordinance number 11-8-21A, setting the 2022 tax rate.
Second.
A motion by Mr. McLean and second by Ms. Gibbons that we approve the ordinance number 11-8-21A, setting the 2022 tax rate. Any discussion of this item?
Mr. Mowry?
Mr. McLean.
Most important thing to say about this motion and ordinance is that it does not increase taxes, and the tax rate is the same as it was that we adopted a year ago.
Thank you, Mr. McLean. Any other comments? Hearing none, Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell.
Yes.
Mr. Sensi.
Yes.
Mr. Council Magnum.
Yes.
Ms. Gibbons.
Yes.
Mr. Hannon.
Yes.
Mr. McLean.
Yes.
Mr. Mowry.
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Mr. McLean.
Next item is the 2022 municipal budget. I move that we approve ordinance number 11-8-21B, adopting the 2022 municipal budget.
Second.
Motion by Mr. McLean, second by Ms. Gibbons, that we approve ordinance 11-8-21B, adopting the 2022 municipal budget. Any discussion of this item? A lot of good things. Check it out. A lot of recreational opportunities, the splash pad, potentially a pickleball court, the same amount on the road program, stormwater projects, capital expenditures for vehicles and equipment and things we need. So a lot of good things in the budget to, really to move the community forward. So I'd like to thank everybody. It's a condensed budget session this time. We learned a lot. We made a lot of changes, but hopefully moving forward, the budget process will go relatively smoothly. Any other discussion?
Mr. Mowry?
Mr. McLean.
I just want to repeat comments I made at the time of the public hearing, that I want to thank the finance director, Lisa, and the municipal manager, Lawrence, for the work they did on putting this budget together. They're implementing some new changes in the way the budget is developed. And change always brings a little bit of difference in the way people see and view things, but it's, I think, going to be for the better, and it's going to be an improvement, and I want to thank them both for their efforts.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. McLean. Any additional comments? Hearing none, Mr. Christie, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell.
Yes.
Mr. Sensi.
Yes.
Mr. Council Magnum.
Yes.
Ms. Gibbons.
Yes.
Mr. Hannon.
Yes.
Mr. McLean.
Yes.
Mr. Mowry.
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Mr. McLean.
Next item is acceptance of donation of property at 3604 Valley Drive. I move that we approve ordinance number 11-8-21C, accepting the donation of property at 3604 Valley Drive.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. McLean, second by Ms. Gibbons, that we approve ordinance number 11-8-21C, accepting the donation of property at 3604 Valley Drive. I would like to personally thank Mr. Dujak, Gene Dujak, for donating this property. For those of you who live in that area, you come up from the tunnel, it's a vacant parcel. The resident has donated to the municipality. It's going to become part of the Bethel Green project. And our hopes is sometime next year, once we get everything transferred over, to potentially transfer this project to the Allegheny Land Trust to become permanently part of the Bethel Green project. So I'd like to thank Mr. Dujak for his donation. Are there any additional comments? Hearing none, Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mr. Sensi?
Yes.
Mr. Consolmagno?
Yes.
Ms. Gibbons?
Yes.
Mr. Hannon?
Yes.
Mr. McLean?
Yes.
Mr. Mowry?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Mr. McLean.
Agenda item E is the ordinance repealing prior condemnation ordinances. I move that we approve ordinance number 11-8-21D, repealing ordinances 10-11-21B and 10-11-21C for parcels 74F12, 149 Thunderwood Drive, and 74F14, 161 Thunderwood Drive.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. McLean, second by Ms. Gibbons, that we approve ordinance number 11-8-21D, repealing ordinance of 10-11-21B and 10-11-21C for parcels 774-F12, 149 Thunderwood Drive, and 774-F-14, 161 Thunderwood Drive. Any discussion of this item?
Go ahead. I was just going to explain, these are parcels that we are going to be acquiring in connection with some stormwater-related projects. We had provisionally adopted some ordinances that would have allowed us to do it by eminent domain, but have since reached agreement with the property owners, so we don't need the ordinances any longer, and they're being repealed.
Thank you, Mr. McLean. Are there any other comments? Hearing none, Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mr. Sensi?
Yes.
Mr. Consolmagno?
Yes.
Ms. Gibbons?
Yes.
Mr. Hannon?
Yes.
Mr. McLean?
Yes.
Mr. Mowry?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Mr. McLean.
There are no further items on the agenda under General Policy and Finance.
Thank you, Mr. McLean. Are there any additional items? Hearing none, can we turn to Health, Safety, and Welfare and Mr. O'Brien?
Thank you, Mr. Mowry. Tonight, there are no items under Health, Safety, and Welfare, although I have a few.
Mr. O'Brien.
First of all, I believe this is the month that Mr. Mowry was elected president of this council 25 years ago. I would like to thank him for his hard work, his dedication, and his leadership. We've come a long way, Mr. Mowry, and I thank you very much from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien.
The second issue is, we know it's Veterans Day. And Veterans Day this week, I'd like to really thank every veteran for their service. And I want to share a brief story. And it's related to a benefit to veterans. I have a dear friend of mine who I worked with for many, many years, and he's been retired for over 10 years now, and he's in his 80s. And for many years, I wanted to take him to Norfolk to see the battleship Wisconsin, and he just denied and didn't really want to go. But this year, for some reason, he said, let's go. And this is a man who served on the aircraft carrier Antietam and is a plank owner of the aircraft carrier Ranger. Now, I'm not sure I know what that means, but it is a very distinguished, I think it means when you send a ship to sea. And he was in the Black Gang or the Snipes or the Black Shoes. He was a boiler guy. And he really just enjoyed his service, and before he passed from this earth, he wants to go and sit on his ship and look out to sea again. We had a wonderful time. And while we were down there, there's a museum run by the U.S. Navy that's right next to the battleship Wisconsin. As we walked in to the museum, of course, they asked him his name, his rank, and they became very much engaged in Navy talk. What was interesting is that they asked him if he had his Vietnam badge. And he says, no, I don't deserve it. I was in from 1956 to 1959. And that's where he was incorrect. The Navy, the federal government or the services are issuing the Vietnam badge for all veterans who served honorably between 1955 and 1975. So it was a brief ceremony. It brought this old seaman to tears, and I felt it also. So I ask all of you who served honorably in this time in your armed services, reach out to get your badge. And the way you get it, you can contact our Congressman, Mike Doyle, or Congressman Connor Lamb, or Congressman Guy Rushenthaler. I'm sure any one of them would be more than welcome to help you get you what you deserve. And once again, thank you for your service. That's all, Mr. Murray.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. Are there any additional items? Hearing none, can we turn to planning and zoning? And Ms. Gibbons.
Thank you. Ordinance for the Barlin Road partial street vacation. I move that we approve ordinance number 11-8-21E, authorizing the vacation of a portion of Barlin Road per the municipal planner's memorandum dated October 7th, 2021.
Second.
There's a motion by Ms. Gibbons, second by Mr. McLean, that we approve ordinance number 11-8-21E, authorizing the vacation of a portion of Barland Road per the municipal planner's memorandum dated October 7th, 2021. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mr. Sensi?
Yes.
Mr. Council Magnum?
Yes.
Ms. Gibbons?
Yes.
Mr. Hannon?
Yes.
Mr. McLean?
Yes.
Mr. Mowry?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Ms. Gibbons.
Resolution 2021 PennDOT Multimodal Transportation Fund Application, Washington Junction Transportation Improvement Projects, Phase 1. I move that we approve resolution number R11-8-21A per the municipal manager's memorandum dated November 1st, 2021.
Second.
There's a motion by Ms. Gibbons, second by Mr. McLean, that we approve resolution number R11-8-21A per the municipal planner's memorandum dated November 1st, 2021. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mr. Sensi?
Yes.
Mr. Council Magnum?
Yes.
Ms. Gibbons?
Yes.
Mr. Hannon?
Yes.
Mr. McLean?
Yes.
Mr. Mowry?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Ms. Gibbons.
There are no additional agenda items under planning and zoning.
Thank you, Ms. Gibbons. Are there any additional items? Hearing none, can we turn to Public Works and Maintenance to Mr. Consul Magno, when we have nobody signed up to speak, sir?
Well, that's very good. Thank you, President Mari. I have 3 exciting items under Public Works and Maintenance. The first is Resolution CDBG, Year 48 application, municipal building sidewalk ADA upgrades. I move that we approve resolution number R11-8-21B to apply for the CDBG grant for the installation of ADA compliant sidewalks per the Director of Engineering's memorandum dated October 20th, 2021.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Consul Magno, second by Ms. Gibbons, that we approve resolution number R11-8-21B to apply for CDBG grant for the installation of ADA compliant sidewalks per the Director of Engineering's memorandum dated October 20th, 2021. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mr. Sensi?
Yes.
Mr. Council Magnum?
Yes.
Ms. Gibbons?
Yes.
Mr. Hannon?
Yes.
Mr. McLean?
Yes.
Mr. Mowry?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Mr. Consul Magno.
The second item is the Parks Maintenance purchase of products. I move that we approve the purchase of products for the Parks Maintenance per the Public Works Director's memorandum dated October 22nd, 2021.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Consolmagno, second by Ms. Gibbons, that we approve the purchase of products for the parks maintenance per the Public Work Director's Memorandum dated October 22nd, 2021. Any discussion of this item?
Mr. Murray.
Mr. Consolmagno.
The Director of Public Works, Susan Dolinar, wants to purchase this product before the end of the month because we'll receive an 8% discount, which is a good savings for us because sometimes we spend money, but, you know, we also like to get discounts, and she's being thrifty, and I thank her for that.
Thank you, Mr. Consolmagno. Any other discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Kimball?
Yes.
Mr. Sensi?
Yes.
Mr. Consolmagno?
Yes.
Ms. Gibbons?
Yes.
Mr. Hannan?
Yes.
Mr. McLean?
Yes.
Mr. Mowry?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Mr. Consolmagno.
The last exciting item is the Millennium Park Improvement Project change order for building renovations. I move that we approve the change order in the amount of $35,844.16 per the Director of Engineering's memorandum dated November 3rd, 2021.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Consolmagno, second by Ms. Gibbons, that we approve the change order in the amount of $35,844.16 for the Director of Engineering's memorandum dated November 3rd, 2021. Any discussion of this item?
Mr. Murray,
Mr. Consolmagno.
this will keep us aligned with the other projects that we did in our parks at Miners and Simmons to keep all of our parks consistent with the same outside facade. It brings a little class to our community, and instead of a stone wall that's painted, this will be a beautiful front to the area. So it's a good project.
So all the money you just saved, we're spending.
Yeah, it's easy come, easy go, you know?
Just wanted to verify. Thank you, Mr. Consolmagno. Are there any other comments, questions? Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Kimball?
Yes.
Mr. Sensi?
Yes.
Mr. Consolmagno?
Yes.
Ms. Gibbons?
Yes.
Mr. Hannan?
Yes.
Mr. McLean?
Yes.
Mr. Mowry?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Mr. Consolmagno.
I have one other item. Since she's here tonight, Pam Tiano, I just want to thank her. From the Rotary Club, the USC and Bethel Park Rotary Club, she chaired the chicken dinner that I had the opportunity of working closely with her at the high school, Bethel Park High School. And single-handedly, she cooked 2,800 chicken dinners for the residents and raised a lot of money for the Rotary Club, which, you know, they donated back to the community. And she's, you know, not only involved in the Interact Club, but she has other things that she keeps her hands in, and we're glad to have you in the community, and thank you.
No, I just, Mr. Consolmagno, any additional?
I'm finished, Mr. Murray.
Okay, that's. No, I do want to touch real quick on something Mr. Christian mentioned, and thank our Shade Tree Commission. They applied for a grant for Tree Pittsburgh and I think One Tree Per Child program. This will be, I believe, the third major planting we did. We did at the elementary school this past week. They're going to be doing it again next week. I believe IMS is where it's going to be done, and it really gives the opportunity for the kids to plant some trees. And the Tree Pittsburgh organization is actually, you know, paying for the tree. They come out. It's a great community effort. Teach them how to do it. I'd also like to thank our municipal staff. We did a planting of 76 trees this past week at Millennium Park. It was a combination of volunteers from our municipal staff, our Public Works Department, Tree Pittsburgh, and the Shade Tree Commission. It was just a great organization. It's really blossomed. I've been waiting to say that. But they have a lot of projects going on, planning something, an event for Arbor Day. They really have a master plan for where we want to go with replacing the trees, not only in our parks. The Bethel Park School District has been a great partner in these programs. We want to thank them for their partnership, and I do want to thank the Shade Tree Commission for all the work. Are there any additional items?
I think it's time for us to leave.
Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned, and good night, everybody.